Hey guys, welcome to the adventures. So this week's video is in light of one of our followers asking us and requesting if we could cover this topic. So I hope I cover it well, but it comes in light of them having a mishap and getting an injury. Thankfully, they are going to be okay, but it could have some permanent consequences. So it is about how to hook and unhook, how to safely hook a set of doubles, where you put your hands, how you can do it efficiently and effectively so that way it can be quicker and it's not taking a longer amount of time and more frustration. And so what happened is, while the driver was hooking a set of doubles, now they didn't have much training, to their defense, and it's something that they have not done much of, and so shame on them not being able to receive more training until an injury did happen. And so that's also why I'm making this video, because I think there's never enough education to help. So while they were unhooking this set, there was still some pressure behind the dolly or converter that hooks the two trailers together. And it sounds like it might have also been on a little bit of a downgrade. So when they released the latch to take the dolly off of the hook, it popped up in the air and their thumb was wedged between the trailer and the hook, smashing their thumb and making it so that they were trapped there in place. Luckily, it was just their thumb, and their thumb remained intact, but they were hooking at an odd time. All of the rush had already left, and so they were left there kind of stranded, just screaming for help in the back corner of a lot. And that's why I want you guys to be very, very careful, because Scott and I have seen far worse injuries because of things like this happening. And that is why I went ahead and said, yes, I'll absolutely make this video for you to help prevent this in the future. And so, his thumb is still healing, and he had some nerve damage done to it, but eventually, he doesn't know how long he was there, but 5-10 minutes after screaming for help, somebody came, and it took two people to roll that dolly converter back away and down so that he could free his thumb. And so there has been an increase on people viewing my how to hook a set of doubles trailer video and how to unhook. So there seems to be a rise of people getting their endorsements. So here's to educating more, and let's get hooking this set.
All right, let's do this. Set yourself up for success and do a good proper pre-trip. I know it's going to be a little difficult, meaning you can't hook air to the equipment right away, but then also move all the airlines and the chains and everything from out of position from around the handle. When you're lifting it, lift with your legs, have good form, have good foot planting. And so you see, I'm actually using my legs and I'm taking little tiny baby steps and really pulling on it. So I'm actually leaning back here because it needed to come towards me to meet up with that hook. So instead of yanking it, which could possibly throw out my back, I just push the dolly back a little bit and then lean harder and just allow my body weight to kind of pull it over there. And that is really the easiest form. And then I make sure that it is over that hook and in place before hooking the chains and locking it over. All right, so when it comes to backing the dolly, this is in real time because I wanted you guys to have a really realistic observation of what it looks like to back a dolly. So this setup, it is a little bit crazier and the yard is a wee bit busier. There's a ton more equipment dropped just everywhere. It is go time at FedEx when the majority of drivers are coming in and leaving out, and so it's a bit crazy. There is a trailer right next to my truck when I'm backing up. That is also why I'm going so slow, and you can see one next to the other trailer, and then the lane is still right there, and so there will be multiple pieces of equipment driving by me while I'm trying to hook and back this dolly in. And so, see, here comes the yard jockey. Be mindful when you're backing up. You're not the only one trying to use the yard and get through the yard. And so just try to work it out. I thought he was going to stay there when I pulled up, but that's okay. So when it comes to backing the dolly, go slow. You see how slow I'm going. If you see that the dolly starts getting one way or the other and you think it's going to jack on you, pull back up. If it's tracking and it's not going right where you need it to, pull up and back up again. The number one key tip that I was told when I first started driving was never drop the dolly until it's perfect, because it is easier to move that heavy equipment with your truck than it will ever be with your body. So work smarter, not harder. So that is why in this scenario, yes, even after 17 years, you can see me pulling up 5-6 times before I actually drop that equipment. And so when you know that it is in the right position, there's a few things that you can look for. All right, I just wanted to give you a quick look around before I finish up to show you just how tight it is, how much other equipment and just throughway there is around my tractor as I'm trying to hook this set. I'm always up for a good challenge. It definitely has helped grow my ability in driving. Something to look for, this black line right here on the trailer, have that line up with the slit on the apron plate right there. All right, another thing is before you even go to unlock this right here from the back of the truck, make sure the brakes are set. That's the brakes, okay? Pull that. And then continuously use your body to help you. So I use my leg and my leg strength to kick off the frame of the truck to get it moving backwards. And I'm holding it right here in place for a second to make sure it's good, and then setting the brakes so that it doesn't roll away. All right, now to go hook my first trailer. To be mindful before you hook any trailer, make sure that it is low enough, because you do not want a high hook. It is so difficult to fix a high hook. The tractor should indeed lift up the trailer off the ground and make it so that it's weighted on top of that plate, and that way it's a good hook. Check the handle that it's in the right positioning, and then also go underneath of there and check to make sure that the jaws is locked around the kingpin. So when it goes to winding up the landing gear, be mindful of your arm positioning. So you do not want your arm to go out to the side of you, because you can crack your arm off the side of the trailer. So keep it at like a 90-degree angle. Also keep your face away from the handle of the crank. That way you can be mindful. So keep nice and straight, because that has big injuries that comes with it when you're not paying attention. All right, so backing the trailer now to the dolly. Again, take your time. This is real-time recording, and just go slow. You can see another truck over there squeezing by me at the same time. So to line up, you want the back axle of your first trailer to line up nice and straight with dolly tires. They should be nice and straight to make a line. So when backing up and positioning, you want to be close enough. I had actually gotten out and checked to see I wasn't close enough, so I backed up a little bit further. I like to be about a foot, no more than 2 feet away from the tongue of that dolly. I do hold the dolly back in position before releasing the brakes to make sure it doesn't roll forward. Again, I'm using my legs to lift and pulling back with my body weight, or I will lean into the equipment to make it go that direction if it does need to shift. And then I'm also just leaning on it. Make sure it goes down in there. I flip back the lever, the lock comes out, and I just double check to make sure it actually locked. Make sure you are being mindful, put those chains in, because that is the law and it is part of hooking the set. And then you can see just the dolly, it's still lined up nice and great, and you can see that it is actually backed underneath of the trailer just a little bit, making sure that trailer is again lowered at the correct position, because you'll see right here, its job is to actually pick the trailer up so that way it can lift it and put pressure on the mechanism. It is needed to have a proper hook and make sure that the jaws can lock correctly. It needs the pressure on there. Don't forget to always do a little tug test. You do not need to run this across the yard or drive very far. I pulled it maybe a foot forward and gave it a little rocking motion, checking the fifth wheel again. This is what it should look like. If those are together, then it is locked right around that kingpin, all right? So again, with the landing gear, this one had just a little bit pressure on the landing gear, so I'm going nice and slow, because when it breaks loose, it can have some power behind it. I like to switch hands and arms doing my landing gear, so that way I'm just not building muscle and wearing out one side of my body. Now to connect the airlines, be sure to grab the front set of airlines and light cords, and then make sure that they're not twisted up and tangled up, because you do want to have slack, and so if they're twisted up or tangled, they are going to put tension on one another, and it could make one of the airlines or something pop off, and that would definitely cause a problem. And then the back set, do the exact same thing. It's pretty simple, clean cut of what goes together.
I hope that was helpful for you guys, and it gives you a little bit more insight on how for 17 and a half years now I've been hooking a set of double, and I have never had any serious injuries or things like that. I am a pretty small person, and I am able to do this job repeatedly year after year on my own, and not often needing assistance. Now, when I do need assistance, I will get some help, but sometimes it's just not available. So you guys should be able to do the job if you want to have the job. So I would encourage you guys to figure out how to do the job and do it safely. You guys stay safe and enjoy the adventures. Bye.